real estate is something we handle, quite thoroughly, because we want to make sure that our clients who deposit their trust in us are being taken care of,
That's so wonderful. That's so good to know.
Part of the due diligence is making sure that the tax on the property is up to date.
Yes.
There's a 1% tax annually that must be paid on properties over 150,000 US dollars. You want to make sure no tax is owed. And another part of the due diligence is doing what is called a status, getting a certificate of judicial status. I want to know if there's any litigation tying this down.
Yeah.
Okay. So I go to the court system and I request that, and I can see if nothing is pending. Also, it'll show me if there are any liens. I go to the registry office and see if there are any liens pending. So this is all part of the due diligence. Oh, and finally, if there were any kind of improvements made on the house, I will have that checked on as well. I want to make sure those improvements are up to code. And if they're not, we have one of two. You either walk away or leverage that to bring down the price. One of the two. Okay.
This is good due diligence. So you have a judicial record to make sure there's no litigation. You have go to the registry to make sure there's no liens on the property. You want to make sure that any taxes that are owed are paid on the property. And you want to make sure any improvements to the property are double checked and make sure that it's all up to code, correct?
And yes, and I also do a confirmation of coordinates.
Ooh, what's that?
Whatever in the title, it's going to have the exact coordinates and location of whatever you're buying. I confirm that the coordinates on the title match the actual location.
Oh, that's so good. That's
because
so good.
that is another thing that happens here. You got the title to another
property. Wow.
Don't match. So
Are surveys standard? Are surveys standard with purchasing?
They're standard. They're standard. Okay. But sometimes you got people that are negligent. You do have people that try to scam. So they try to, so a title is part of it. It's not all, that is the jumping off point for me to really do a due diligence on
diligence. Oh, and that's also, good.
When you're talking about a project, part of the due diligence to a tourist project, I want to know if all the permits have been issued. I want to know if there's a loan on that project. I want to know if the loan is universal. What do I mean by this? I mean that sometimes a project will take out a loan wherein until the loan is paid, the titles are not released. So if they have to first pay the entire loan on that project or in its entirety before the individual titles are released. I want to take a look at that, because you could end up paying a unit and then they have a financial situation where they can't give you the title. And without the title, you got nada.
Wow. Okay. Wow. So you have to be careful. Let's summarize that a little bit. So you have to be careful or be knowledgeable when you are purchasing any development, because these huge developments, multi-million-dollar developments going on, they are getting financing for these developments. It's not just financed through the sale of the units, right? It is financing going on. And if it covers all of the units, you won't get title until that loan is paid off. Is that correct?
That it could be one of the setups.
Oh, one of the setups. Okay.
Always happen. I just want to make sure if they have a loan, once I pay my unit, I get my title, even though you're still paying off a loan.